Welcome to the UNA Baseball Review. Here are your hosts, Coach Mike Keene and Jeff Hodges.
Hello and welcome to another season of the UNA Baseball Review. I'm Jeff Hodges along with UNA head baseball coach Mike Keene. Coach Keene, the UNA Lions 15 games into this 2013 season. You're 10-5 right now, and a few highs, a few lows so far, but your team seems to be playing pretty well right now on an 8-1 run going into this weekend's action.
Yeah, it was, we didn't start quite the way we wanted to, and went down to Florida Southern and played a good Florida Southern team and basically opened up with them. And we were in every game, and unfortunately we were unable to hold some leads and weren't able to come back, and so kind of put us on a little bit of hold this year. And then but we've been able to bounce back and get started in the conference season and put ourselves back in a position where hopefully we'll continue to play well.
The team returned 16 lettermen from last season, 4 starters, and perhaps a record 9 pitchers coming back, so you felt good about that. But the relief pitching was really a problem early on. In the 3 games you lost at Florida Southern and a game at Montevallo, you didn't feel real comfortable with what was happening. Yeah,
it was, and it really kind of caught us off guard because I felt that was going to be a strength in our program. I think it still will as the season progresses. We've seen some, I thought the other day both Brantley and Ben Seabrook came back in and threw really well this past weekend, and I think Drew Mobley's really stepped up and has really fulfilled that role that we needed. And we had to make a little move with Damon Erickson being from a midweek starter into the bullpen, trying to just clean everything up. I foresee that being something that's going to get back to being a strength of ours, and I think what we got to continue to do is play good defense, keep the games close, so it allows them to be able to do what they're supposed to do.
And conference play came a little early this year with the addition of Shorter and Union to the conference schedule. So you're already into conference play. You went 2-1 that first weekend. You dropped the game in the middle of that series, but you got to feel good coming out with a series win to start the season.
Yeah, it was, anytime, you felt you played well the first game. I just didn't think we, was more disappointed as we just did not play very well the second game. And I'll give their kid credit. He threw extremely well, kept us off balance. We had some chances to score and the game was right there. Then we let it slip away by, this time it wasn't necessarily the pitchers that blew it. We just played very poor defense and then allowed them to expand it, and we were unable to come back. So on that standpoint, I was disappointed, but we were able to bounce back and then win Game 3 and win the series, which is obviously extremely important when you're in GSC play.
And you got a nice mix early this season. Chad Bonner, Josh Sear, a couple guys we'll talk about later in the show breaking some records, but some new guys, Jake Ward coming in, Dylan Boston, a couple local guys that have really paid dividends for you already. Jake was the GSC Player of the Week last week, and he's batting .471 for you this season.
Yeah, and I think, Dylan was, we always knew, from high school, being around here, I knew he had a lot of potential. He's really kind of solidified our DH role and has been a very consistent hitter. I think one thing Dylan right now is doing is he's making adjustments throughout the game. He might get him out the first time, but he adjusts, and he gets, been doing just a very good job in hitting behind Josh Sear. So, and then Jake stepped up when we had some injuries. With Josh Doyle going down with an injury, he got his opportunity to step in there every game, and he's really done a very good job. And then this stretch is he's been very important in those wins because he's been, obviously, you look at his batting average, he's been real hot during that stretch.
Boston batting .456 for the season. He's got a 15-game hitting streak. Josh Sear may be a bigger story this year. He really struggled out of the gate last year offensively, but tremendous job defensively, but he's batting .417 also, doing a great job for you at the plate.
Yeah, Josh was, even last year, his batting average, because he started off so slow, he still was so productive and, with home runs and RBIs. I think this year is what he's done is he's able to use the whole field, been very patient at the plate. He's been that 3-hole hitter, and just right now I think he's our most consistent hitter, and he's been our most productive hitter again, and it's glad to see him because I think he's a guy that we felt could fulfill that role, and he's really doing a great job this year so far.
We're going to take a quick break, and we'll have more Lion baseball for you after this.
TVA Credit Union was established by the Farm Credit Administration on June 24, 1936, with 7 branches full of financial experts offering personal advice. TVA Credit Union offers low rates for mortgages, auto and personal loans, as well as higher rates on savings and CDs. TVA Credit Union is member-owned and operated, and now open to the community. TVA Credit Union is everybody's credit union. Give TVA Credit Union a call today, 256-386-3000, or stop by any branch.
Daddy, can I get a puppy, please?
Okay, Sammy. It's bedtime.
Oh, 10 more minutes, please.
10 more.
Yes. Please. Hey, Daddy. Will you buy us some alcohol for my party tonight? We'll be right here at the house. You can even take the keys. Please?
Absolutely not.
Never let me have anything.
Don't be a pushover.
I hate you.
Be a parent. Prevent. Don't provide alcohol to minors.
And welcome back to the UNA Baseball Review. As we mentioned, the Lions 10-5 this season, part of that winning record 3-game sweep of Kentucky State. And it's a team we played the last couple of years, but a new coach this year, really improved baseball team, and the Lions were able to sweep the 3-game series. A couple of big wins on Saturday, but our game highlight today is the game on Sunday, a 10-3 UNA win, and it was a tough win for you.
Yeah, and you're right. They were a completely different team, the way they approached the game. I thought he's done. I know he inherited a tough situation, but he really wanted to go in there and try to turn that program around, and I think he's going to get them going. So, this was a game, come off where we had some big win, scored a lot of runs prior to that, and again, it's kind of like what happened with Shorter. You hope you come out ready to go and not let anybody get in the game. Well, unfortunately, you can see right here, we weren't on top of our game, and then you can see in the first inning they come up and they score by a pass ball, then you get another hit, try to get in there, and they get some things going, so they get that 1 run on the board and puts us in the hole again, which we don't want to be into. But again, a lot of times we figure this in a 9-inning game, gives us a chance to come back.
And with our veteran staff, this is a new face for UNA fans. Cade Medley done a great job for you this season. Struggled a little bit at Florida Southern, but 2 good performances after that.
Right, and that was something, Cade probably was one of his sharper outings, and he admitted to it, but I thought when he came back against Shorter, he did a really good job. But the thing about Cade is he competes so well. Even though he's not quite on, he kept competing. And I thought this is real important for us to come out, and we were able to, after they scored, come out and get some, I think that was Andrew Alma that led off, that inning, get a hit, get things started. And of course, Josh Sear came through, and then here we come. I think it's Matthew Tittle comes up and then gets a ball that kind of gets in front of there. Misplayed, and it's a ball that probably could have been caught and ends up dropping it, but we're able to score some runs. So, but again, hitting the ball hard, putting the pressure on the defense, and that's what we got to do, and we're able to get right back on the board and take the lead.
Yeah, I would say anytime you can respond immediately to falling behind, it's got to give you a lot of confidence.
And this game, was one of those games that stayed, pretty close a lot of the way. They were making all the plays, they weren't making the mistakes. So it was a game where we had to pitch, we had to make plays, and we had to do it. And I think that's what Cade did. He started coming, settle down, getting the ground balls, and we're making all the plays. And that, this is one of the things we got to continue to do is continue to play sound defense, and especially Andrew Alma at third base. You see that play. He's made some tremendous plays for us at third base, and just had got us out of some jams, made some just some tremendous plays. I know he started the season at Florida Southern, just made some plays, and he's been continuing to do that. So it's nice to have that consistency defensively.
And their pitcher doing a good job on the mound. They had won a game against Alabama Huntsville,
right.
And so, like I said, the team that's much improved, and this guy came out and really started well on the Sunday game.
Right, and this is where, we were waiting there, we got an opportunity, we got a walk, and then we're starting to hear, I think it was Jake Ward, comes up and he gets a hit. We got some good speed at second base, so we're able to score the run. And again, it started expanding the lead, so instead of being that 1-run ball game, we're starting to get a little cushion behind it, and and hopefully we can keep expanding. But I think again, a good job of going with the pitch, hitting the ball the other way, and I thought that's what the most part we've been getting a good job of adjusting, getting pitches over the plate. And here we get a pitch that's up over the plate, and that's, I think it was Dylan on Boston who got that, but that
Will Dennis.
Yeah, it was Will Dennis. Will Dennis got the ball. That's right. Got a double in the gap. We were able to drive and get it going, knock in another run. So he was able to take advantage of a mistake to put the guy, got it up, and he drove it in the gap. Now the thing, like Cade coming back out, good job there, got the ground ball. We had runners in scoring position. Their guy hits it back to him, checks, make sure, and that's what you want to do. You get a quality pitch, and then be able to get them out when you can. And then again, does the same thing. We get a pitch here, and the guy's going to sit there and going to try to tag with it, and able to get them in. So we're trying to minimize the damage when we get them second and third, but they're able to scratch another run. And you'll notice now it's 4-2 again. But Cade bounces back, gets a strikeout, gets him looking, and then keeps the game at 4-2, and he's still pitching, still getting. I think as the game got on, he started getting a little bit better.
Yeah, it seemed like he got stronger and a little more confidence as he went along.
Yeah, and there's Boston right here, hit a ball hard right at the guy, and then he ends up making the guy made mistakes. That was probably their game that really kind of hurt Kentucky State, was their third baseman. He's a good offensive player, but he really hurt him defensively. There's a situation, hit the ball hard, force infield, he throws the ball away, and now we got some things going, and then we took advantage of it. We kind of chopped another ball here. We were able to get to there and beat it out. It's chopped enough where we can't get a good hustle. That's one thing about Dylan, he's going to play hard. Gets to second base, beat it out, and we keep the inning going. So there was really no play, and that's now we got Smarskin there again. We come up, take another ball, we drive another one, get over the head, flare enough to get in there, able to score a run. And now after they score, we responded again, and that's something that we got to continue to do against any opponent we play.
And you'll take runs any way you can get them. That was an error of fielder's choice and a bloop single, but hey, it looks like a home run in the newspaper.
Yeah, and like I said, it's take advantage of when the team makes mistakes, and we were able to do that. And then now it's like keep going, and we're going to try to get some things going. steal a base, trying to make some things happen. And again, a lot of the games we haven't had situation where we can steal a lot, so we're going to try to make some more things happen. And then we get a pitch there, we go out of the way, drive it the other way, knock in another run, get a couple more runs here. And again, that was real big at that time. And I think this side they might have been with 2 outs here, but I know one of these games we did a good job with getting a lot of hits with 2 outs, and that's what we wanted to do right there.
And just having the series is important because of the Division II in-region teams.
Yes. That's what a lot of people don't understand. Like Lemoyne and Kentucky State, those are in-region games. We're all in the same region. And then again, comes out throwing strikes. Guy hits the ball hard. Andrew makes a nice play. Hit it hard, but it kind of right at him. Had to jump a little bit for it, but get it out. And again, what he's going to do is force contact right now.
And then his 6 innings in the game, Cade only gave up 3 hits, 2 runs. He walked 4, struck out 6, so good performance.
Right, and that was one of the things you get him was his control, and then you can see now he's really settling down. They steal second base. Next guy gets on there, and he leaves Mastrand at second base with a strikeout, and now he's now we're getting things really going.
But now you're going to the bullpen, and like I said, you've been a little shaky early in the year. So Drew Mobley out here and going to give up a run. It's going to be 7-3, but the Lions going to hold on.
Right, and that was a pitch right there that was almost really almost next to impossible to block, and I thought he did a good job of trying to get out there and make an effort on it. Drew again needed to come in there and throw strikes, misses with a pitch, gives up a run. Now he's going to come back in, and Drew's really been doing a good solid job, and then you can see he gets out of it once he's settling. But he's after this point on, he's been coming in a lot of big games and getting us out of some jams, and I think he's going to continue to be in that role. And I thought he's been real consistent from this game on. He really started getting really good for us.
Now he's going to try to add to that 4-run lead here in the 7th.
There you see again, he got a little out front, chopped the ball, got by a guy at third, and then here we got some starting again and get a leadoff double. Again, anytime we get a guy in scoring position, hopefully we'll continue to get that run in and have good at bats.
We played 15 games. Boston's got 11 doubles already this season, so when he hits, he's hitting for extra bases.
Another guy makes a play in the backhand, and again, good effort by Dylan. He sees the play, makes a backhand, moves up to third, gets in. If you can get a chance to get to third, you can score a lot easier from third than you can second. So now we got to try to get some things going here. Drew comes up and drives the ball to the left center field, stays inside it, knocks in another run. So there's good job of moving up, and then he hustles to second base and gets another double, and that's just using his speed and taking advantage of going. Again, here we got some things going, got a chance to steal. Guy makes an errant throw, able to score a run. So we're able to get some things going, put some pressure on them, get our speed into play. And anytime we can do that, it helps, and then we're able to expand the lead, pretty comfortable at this point.
As I say, your speed game's been hurt a little bit with Josh Stroll out of the lineup, but Drew able to steal a base there and then force the error, like you said, and put pressure on the defense.
And then we, again, keep coming out. We're going to continue to have good at-bats. There Andrew does a good job. Again, walks. We're again trying to be real patient. Don't chase anything. Force him to throw pitches in the zone. Work the counts. Wait for something over the middle of the plate, and then when it's there, take advantage. And then again bring Sear up to the plate. And that's what they think about Josh is they're pitching him careful. They know about him. He's been in our league a while. And this is, I think, what he's done. He's leading us by far in walks, but part of that is he's being patient. But when he gets his pitch over the middle of the plate, he's been able to get it. So now we got first and second. Boston there, he got a pitch right down the middle, and he just drove that ball and about knocked it through the dang outfield fence. But you can see where that pitch got up, and he really stayed back, let that ball come to him, and just drove it. And just a really big, clutch hit to knock those 2 runs in.
And then we're now in the 9th inning, and you're going to bring in a new face. Morgan McCarley to close out the game.
Yeah, and Morgan's got he's got a good arm, has good stuff. What we're trying to do is continue to get consistency. And this game is what he did. Is he came in, was trying to just come in and throw strikes, and we get a situation here where we finally get an opportunity guy steal, and we throw a runner out, which is something that we haven't had a lot of those. Been holding, but he did a slide step, get a good throw to second base, and throw him out. And again, he comes in throwing strikes, get the easy play at second base, and able to get the win and come out of there with another big in-region game.
As we said, a 10-3 win. UNA swept the 3-game series, now on an 8-1 run. And just quickly, one of the most amazing stats, I think, so far, 15 games into the year, you've gotten 102 free bases, 71 walks, and 31 hit batters. So you guys really doing a good job being patient at the plate. Yeah,
I think, that's one thing we've always talked about with our walks. But I think what this group is doing is we got a lot more guys that will stay in there, and if they get a pitch on the inner half, then they're jumping out of the way. They're rolling into it, or not necessarily rolling in, but they're not taking, if it's going to get a hit them, they're going to let it hit and take that extra base. And it's obviously, it's paying off good for us right now.
We'll have another quick break and have more Lion baseball for you when we come back.
TNT Fireworks is proud to support the University of North Alabama and the Lion baseball team. Like the UNA baseball program, TNT Fireworks is committed to excellence. Our product, service, and teamwork are the reasons we are America's #1 selling fireworks brand. Check us out at tntfireworks.com. And remember, if it's not TNT, it's not fireworks. TNT Fireworks encourages the entire Shoals area to support head coach Mike Keene and his UNA Lions by attending a game at Mike D. Lane Field. Roar Lions!
He is the most interesting man in the Shoals. He is an artist, a writer, a philosopher, a historian, musician, astronomer, wine connoisseur, environmentalist, Peace Prize recipient. When he speaks, people hang on each and every word, especially the verbs. His personality is so magnetic that he cannot carry credit cards. It is said that once he taught a German shepherd how to bark in Spanish and taught a horse to read his email. Someone recently asked him what he did for fun, and here is what he said.
I don't eat out every day, but when I do, I eat at City Hardware because to me, it's the most interesting restaurant in the Shoals.
Welcome back to the UNA Baseball Review. It's time for our player profile segment, and the 4 guys we're going to see today all have at least 5 years in the UNA baseball program. Well, Josh Sear with 4, but the others with 5 or more, and these are 4 guys that are really special to your program.
Yeah, these individuals, I think it doesn't happen a lot, but we had, here's 4 guys that have been in our program, played for 4 years. Obviously, we got a couple of them that have graduated. They do the complete package, good on the field, off the field, and all of them will graduate. Both Sear and Drew Humphrey will be graduating next year. Chad Bonner obviously graduated. He's in grad school, and he's been a guy that's been on our weekend rotation since his freshman year, and obviously he's put up the numbers and shown why he's been on the weekend.
And not only 4-year players, but 4-year guys from the local area. And just running through some of Chad's numbers, he basically holds every UNA pitching record for the most part, but 27 career wins. He was tied for the career record going into the season, 2 wins already this year, so a 27-11 record, 246 career strikeouts a record, 269 2/3 innings pitched as a record, and his 43 career starts. So All-American last year, our first All-American in quite a few years, but he certainly earned everything that he's gotten.
Yeah, and he works really hard, and I think that's one of the things he's been able to keep his focus. We were real excited about him, coming back, and we were able to get at that hardship and let him get that extra year, and obviously we're real glad that he decided to do that because he'll have a good impact on our season this year.
And Andrew Allman came in first year, played a little backup at third, but he's really been your man the last couple of years there, done a great job maturing defensively, also hitting .375 this season, so helping you all the way around.
I think Andrew's been one of those, he's always been, competing for a position and been right there at, the first couple of years, his freshman and sophomore years, and just happened that the one year that J.P. Lamunya came out of the chute and had a great year, so he was battling at third base, and he really stepped up and pretty much solidified that position and had a real solid year last year, and this year again, another guy that's graduated in our program, and glad he came back and for his 4th year in his senior year, and I think you can see he's having a really good, solid year for us, and I think he's one of the guys that's really provides some leadership for this program, and he's again just a real good asset to our program. Plays the game right, and just hopefully he'll continue to have a good year. He's done so far. He's been doing really well.
4.0 student. He had a little competition for the starting job last year, and he just really seized it and never gave it back. Another guy that's matured in the program here with you, Drew Humphrey. Been seen some starting action in left field this year. Doing a better job this year defensively, but always a quick guy and you want to get on base.
Right, that's the thing about Drew. He's had a little bit hampered with some injuries throughout. He had it again this fall with a little hamstring, and it's kind of hurt him on and off a little bit. This year he was able to get in, and like I said, it's one of the positions we felt was real strong and deep was our outfield position, and he's one of those guys that's included in that. Obviously, a very good runner. Has really worked hard, improved his defense. The thing about Drew is he's usually, very at the plate as far as putting the ball in play, putting pressure because he can utilize his speed. And as you saw in the Kentucky State game when he did, he was able to steal a couple of bases and put some pressure on him. And another guy that I thought when he came in here has really turned his academics around. Real proud that he's going to be graduating from from UNA. And I think that's one of those things that says a lot about these guys that, once not only getting here to baseball, but they wanted to come in here and get their degree, and they're all going to be able to get that.
Drew batting .280 this season, doing a good job. Here's another guy, Josh Sear, a 4-year starter for you, and he's going to break a lot of records before he leaves UNA. He's already broken a couple this year, but and records defensively, and that's something his first year maybe you felt was a little liability, sub somebody in there for defense late, but he's done a tremendous job with his defense.
Yeah, and you know, when Josh was in high school, he played multiple positions, pitched, caught, actually even played shortstop one time, so it shows you what his athleticism is. But I think after his freshman year, you know, we did replace him a little bit defensively, and he worked really hard at that in his in the summer. And then when he came back and just continued to get better, and like I said, he's you know, I know the last couple of years for the Golden Glove, you know, he was unable to get it, but he's been nominated, and you know, I think he's been on the verge. And then I was real this summer is when he got that award for the best defensive first baseman in the Northwoods League, which is a very, very good league. So I think that says a lot about him, and he's already saved us a lot this year. I mean, he's picked a couple out and made a couple great plays the other day in the other game when we were playing the other evening.
And, he's batting .417 this season. He's in virtually the top 10 of virtually every UNA offensive category. But when you look at the defensive records, he's breaking the records for most putouts, the total fielding chances that are held by Douglas Hargett, Alan Pate, you know, All-Americans, Hall of Famers in the UNA program. But he's also on the verge of breaking the Gulf South Conference record for most putouts, which has stood since 1985. Yeah. So that tells you not a lot of guys have come in and done what he's done.
Yeah, that, and even the guys that he's, you know, took the pass their record, both with, you know, Douglas Hargett and Alan Pate, you know, neither one of them, Douglas played a little bit at third base. You know, Alan redshirted his freshman year, and so but for Josh came in right away as a freshman, came in and played, and pretty much has been there for 4 years, and that's a heck of an accomplishment. And like I said, that shows you how difficult it is if a record's been sitting there for about 28 years and you finally breaking it. So it's not an easy record to get to.
We'll take another break and have more Lion baseball for you when we come back.
Morgan Stanley is proud to sponsor the University of North Alabama Lions. Please see one of our financial advisors, Chris Smith, Bill Jeffrey, Joe Curtis, John Jeffrey, or David Jeffrey to assist you with your financial needs.
Hi, I'm Mike Keene, head baseball coach at the University of North Alabama. Have you ever heard the saying, great baseball players are made in the off-season? As a college baseball coach, I can tell which high school recruits are on a weight program and which ones are not. Help your young athlete reach the top of his sport by training with the personal trainers at the Courthouse Racket Club. Our 5 trainers are ready to work at your athlete's pace and your schedule. Try our 3andMe training program designed for 3 athletes to work with a trainer and lower the cost to fit any budget. Call Ken Irby at 764-0034 to set up a program designed especially for your young athlete. The Courthouse Racket Club, proudly serving the Shoals for 30 years.
Daddy, can I get a puppy, please?
Okay, Sammy. It's bedtime.
Oh, 10 more minutes, please.
10 more.
Yes.
Please? Hey, Daddy. Will you buy some alcohol for my party tonight? We'll be right here at the house. You can even take the keys. Please?
Absolutely not.
Each time I turn around.
Never let me have anything.
Don't be a pushover.
Hate you.
Be a parent. Prevent. Don't provide alcohol to minors.
Morgan Stanley is proud to sponsor the University of North Alabama Lions. Please see one of our financial advisors, Chris Smith, Bill Jeffrey, Joe Curtis, John Jeffrey, or David Jeffrey to assist you with your financial needs.
Welcome back to the UNA Baseball Review. As we mentioned earlier, Coach Keene, the Lions already into the Gulf South Conference schedule. The home series against Shorter. You actually have 9 series this year, which is more than you've had in the past. 5 of those on the road, so it's going to be a tough task there. But the Lions picked to finish 3rd in the conference, which is, I guess, probably about where you'd expect. Delta State made the national championship game last year. A lot of guys returning. Then West Florida. So a lot of really tough teams still in the conference, and it's going to be a long, tough season.
Right, and I think, you know, it was one of those twos with, and you look where everybody was, it was pretty tight. You had UAH, Valdosta, and ourselves were all pretty much in that 3, 4, 5 slot. UAH has really come out and they've been playing extremely well. Another team, West Georgia, is, you know, they're, I think, like 14-3. So it ain't any different than any other year in the GSC. It's a lot of depth, a lot of talent. And each weekend is so important. You got to play well every weekend, no matter who it is, from the top to the bottom. And you know, and that's just the way it's going to be throughout and it's going to be a dogfight. And we got a tough 3 weekends, you know, in store for us.
West Georgia, West Alabama, and Alabama Huntsville came out and actually swept series that first weekend. A little misleading because Delta State played West Florida, but they're going to be some tough series, some a little bit easier. But one good thing for you, you have 2 guys that started throughout the Gulf South Conference schedule last year, and Michael Watkins and Chad Bonner, and they're veterans and they know what to expect.
Right, I think that was one of the things we felt, you know, going in, if we can play good defense and you know, be able to do some of the things we can do. We felt with, you know, Chad and Mike will obviously keep us in pretty much every game that we're going to be competing against. And I think it's nice to have those guys because they obviously threw some big games, not only in the regular season, but the GSC and then also in the regional, and they both pitched real well in the regionals.
And with the relief pitching, like you said, still kind of feeling that out and getting that pulled together. But the guys that you had last year, Brantley Conch, Brent Seabrook, all those guys, Drew Mobley, Jacob Westerhouse, all pitched in the conference season, did very well.
Yeah, and I think they'll be bouncing back. They're all going to be up ready for this this weekend with Delta State from this point on. And they've had more experience. I think it's just a matter of getting them back focused, getting them back on track. And I think Coach Hancock's really sat down and really get them in the right direction.
How much a difference playing at home, playing on the road? We've had a lot of home success. 0-4 on the road right now, and you've got some really tough series on the road, but I mean, you expect your team to step up.
Well, I think it's one of those things, and you've kind of looked throughout the conference, it's kind of that way with everybody. You know, it's one of those things when you go on the road, obviously we had a little more road games, so we felt we'd go out there early this year and get on the road and get some experience and, you know, get out there and do it. And I thought in the Montevallo game, you know, we jumped out there and we had a 5-0 lead and played really well, just were unable to hold the lead. So anytime you go into all these environments, you know, whether it's Delta State, West Florida, West Georgia, all those environments are going to be difficult. And when you're the visitors, you know, you got to play well and you got to try to get a lead because you know, the difference is you don't have that last at bat.
Another new face doing well for you right now, Matthew Tittle at shortstop. He's come in, he's hitting .366. Yeah, Josh Carpenter is a 2-year starter there. You were able to move him to second. It really seems to be clicking right now with the defense. Excuse me.
Yeah, and I think that was one thing that you know, we felt we need to get a little more consistency at shortstop. And Matthew Tittle was a very good player at Calhoun Community College, actually from Austin High School in Decatur. So we had seen him play in high school, knew a lot about him. And I think one thing about Matthew brings that not only you know, if he can stay a good defense, he's a very good defensive player for Calhoun, but you know, he's got a chance to be a pretty good offensive player. And once he stays patient, you can see he's got a little pop in his bat. So I think he's got a chance to be a complete player, not only defensive but offensively, and he can run a lot better than a lot of people give him credit for.
Bradley Noland, another new face in the outfield for you, batting .333. He and Humphrey have swapped out a little bit in left field, but he's doing an outstanding job.
Yeah, and Bradley is, you know, he played a lot of second base earlier for this year. He can play both. That's what he was in junior college. So we kind of transitioned him to the outfield and just to keep his bat in the lineup. And I know that's been an ongoing process for him, but I think he's done. He brings a lot of energy, likes to play hard. So, you know, he's get his chance playing left field. He can also play second base, and we know we got a little mobility with him.
Coming up on Saturday, March 16th, we want to mention real quick the Lions playing a home doubleheader against Alabama Huntsville. Pre-game at 1:45, we're going to have a dedication for the UNA press box, the Robert E. Stevenson press box. The Stevenson family provided the funds to have the press box renovated really for the first time since 1984 when it was built. Fantastic facility now, and then also we're going to be saluting our military that day.
Right. It's you know, we're just so appreciative of the Stevenson family, Rosalie, and you know, they're getting out there and giving the donation, and you know, Jason's going to be there with his family, so it'll be a real nice event to honor them for what they did. And if you haven't seen it up there with the new seats, I know you've been upstairs, and even in that nice cold weather, you got to be kind of nice and toasty up there.
Yeah.
But it's just so much more space up there, really clean, and we're just so appreciative. It really dressed up our whole facility.
And then Josh Wetzel, one of our former managers who served in the military, he's going to be there to throw out the first pitch, and that'll be pretty special.
Yeah, that's you know, Josh was a real good manager for us and chose to go to the military. Was actually saw action in Afghanistan, was injured over there in Afghanistan, and now goes out and does actually some speaking. But he's just so upbeat about his situation, and he wanted to serve his country, and that's something he always wanted to do, and he did. And we're just glad to honor all those individuals that are serving our country.
And again, a 2-game doubleheader against Alabama Huntsville on Saturday. Then on Sunday, a single game at 1 o'clock, and then on Wednesday at 5 o'clock, a single game at home against Stillman.
Yeah, and that's big week. Delta State, these are all in-region games. We got to go down to AAU in between there, but these games this weekend obviously are going to be huge. And then Stillman's going to be a big game too. So we got our work cut out for us.
Thanks for joining us on the UNA Baseball Review. Hope to see you again here next week.
Thank you for watching the UNA Baseball Review. Please join us again next Sunday at 11:30.